welcome back to Make and Making. The holidays are here and it's officially time for all the baking. Today I'm tackling some of my favorite recipes. From cookies to pie, let's get cozy in the kitchen together. So today is all about holiday baking. I've got a busy day ahead, but it's the kind of chaos I love at this time of the year. On the menu, I have sourdough chocolate chip cookies that are already chilling and ready to bake, white chocolate cranberry oatmeal cookies, a personal favorite and my niece's favorite, keto peanut butter pie with a special keto crust that I have promised to share because obviously there's people in my family that like keto, and some kind of bread, either homemade rolls or my trusty rustic bread. So let's see where the day takes us. Okay, so as you can see, I've got a lot going on here today. One of the things that I've already started was my sourdough chocolate chip cookies because those have to go in the fridge and sit for approximately 4 hours. I do 2 to 4 hours, it just depends, but they also need to come out and then they need to get a little bit warm so that they're easier to get on a pan. So in the meantime, I'm going ahead and start the oven. As you can see, I've already got bread on the oven from earlier because I needed some sourdough bread for the mornings. But anyways, if you want the recipe for this, you know, all these recipes, you can get them on my blog. But also, I've already done a video on this, so if you would love to see that video, just check out this link that I'm going to put right up here, and that way you can just go over and check out that video later. So that's the first thing that I'm going to get started today. The next thing that I plan on doing is going ahead and getting my peanut butter pie going and getting it in the refrigerator so that it can get cool and chilled. So one of the things that I do is I use just a regular pie pan for my crust for the peanut butter pie. I could use a glass one, but since I'm going to be taking it to a holiday party, I figured that this would be a little bit better just because I don't want anybody dropping it and breaking it. And so anyways, I had promised you a keto peanut butter pie crust. And so that's what I'm going to do today. And like I said, I will link all of my recipes in the description box below. That way you can go and you can check out any and every one of them. So I would love to know in the comments though, what is your preference? Is it pie or cookie when you go to a holiday gathering? Which one is it that you prefer the most? I would love to hear from you and find that out. So let's get started. So I'm just gonna be a little busy little bee around here. So you can just follow along with me and see what's going on, and we'll stop every so often and chit chat and check in and see how things are going. Okay, so our keto peanut butter pie is pretty much the same process as a regular peanut butter pie. The only difference is our crust. And on the crust, let me get this. On the crust, the difference is we're gonna make a chocolate crust instead of a graham cracker crust. So it's gonna still have that texture that a graham cracker crust has, but the difference is that we're gonna use almond flour, cocoa powder, powdered swerve, and then we're gonna use 1/4 cup of butter, or you could use melted coconut oil. I just prefer to use butter that's softened. And then we wanna use 1 to 2 teaspoons water if needed. So the water just comes in handy if your crust ends up being just a little bit too hard to deal with. So you want to make sure that you lightly grease this pan. Now I know it's supposed to be nonstick, but I'm just saying lightly grease the pan just a little bit so that way when we go to cut the pie, it doesn't like come out lightly. When I say lightly, I mean like extremely light. There's no reason for you to do a whole bunch on there. And then once we put the ingredients in here, we get it all mixed together and put it in our pan. What we're going to do is we're going to put it in the freezer, and then we'll create the inside of the pie. All right, so this is the texture that you're looking for. See how it is clumpy? That's the texture that you're looking for that we're gonna put in our pan. Okay, so there you have it, my friends. There is our keto pie crust. We're gonna go ahead and stick it in the freezer, and that way we can give it time to set so that we can put our topping on top. I would love to know in the comments. I know I've already said something about putting something in the comments, but I would love to know in the comments if you try these recipes because it does help me out to see if you like them and if I need to create more or come up with more or even review more. I love to review recipes as well, just so I can get an idea, because honestly, I'm not going to tell you that I like something if my family doesn't like it too. And so this is a favorite within my family. I would love to know if there are any keto followers out there or people that are just sugar-free followers. You don't have to necessarily be keto to want to do some sugar-free stuff, because I'm not keto and I love to do some sugar-free items because it does help keep my sugar down. So stick this in the freezer, then get started on this topping. Okay, so like I said, this is done exactly the same. The only difference is we're going to use powdered sugar and peanut butter of your choice. So my choice today was, hang on a second here. I'm using Jif, no sugar added. Yes, I know it's not the cleanest one out there. But anyways, it was no sugar added, and it's my preference over almond butter. I'm not an almond butter fan. And some of the other peanut butters that I've tried, I've not really cared for them. So that's just my choice. Use whatever peanut butter is your preference. I will tell you though, that since it is a no sugar added peanut butter, that you definitely want to taste it to make sure that it's sweet enough when you get it all mixed together. So it's not a big deal. So I've already gotten everything softened. So the first thing we're going to do is just like our normal peanut butter pie, 8-ounce cream cheese. Oh, there's the cookies. Half a cup of powdered sugar is perfect. It's not too sweet. I wish the Hubs was in here because he could probably tell you if it's any better. And yes, I do like to lick the whisk. I'm still a kid. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to fold in our Cool Whip. Now, I use the zero sugar Cool Whip, and so that's what we're going to use for this today. So we're going to put it inside of our crust, then we're just going to stick it back in the freezer. There you have it, friends. First dessert ready to go. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the Dutch oven no-knead bread. So my husband came in and I said, which one? I don't know which one I need to do, the rolls or the no-knead bread. So he's like, do the no-knead bread and the rolls. So we shall see. Just in case the no-knead bread doesn't come out right, because sometimes when the house is not warm enough, it causes me to have issues. So anyways, so that's what we're going to do next. So while this is baking, our cookies are baking, our pie is in there, we're going to go ahead and start on this no-knead so that it can be sitting and rising for an hour. Okay, so what I like about this recipe for the no-knead bread is the fact that it is so few ingredients and it's super easy to make. So it's basically just flour, salt, yeast, and water. That's it. So it's kind of hands off. Now the dough gets a little scary because it's really wet, hydrated dough. So it does have, it's real sticky. So you're going to let it sit while it's sticky. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute, so that way it will rise that way for an hour. And then we'll put a little bit more flour in there before we get it ready to go in the Dutch oven, because it's got to sit another 30 minutes after we turn around and put a little bit more flour on. So now, typically I would leave this in this bowl, but because I've got to make another set of cookies and I have to make those other rolls, I've got to have my mixer because I've only got one mixer. But this is what I'm talking about. See how sticky and shaggy this dough is? That is what you're looking for, that consistency. And it's going to throw you for a loop, but don't worry about it. Let it rise for an hour and then we're going to come back to it. If I had another one of these, I would have used it to cover my bread. But anyways, these things are amazing. Like I said before, I've gotten them at IKEA and I love them. I will try to link it in the description box below. So next on our list is what they call vanishing oatmeal raisin cookies. That's the way I've heard them called, but we call them white chocolate cranberry oatmeal cookies. I don't know, maybe the vanishing oatmeal cookies is a better name. I don't know. Anywho, I first got these when I was at a cookie exchange party several years ago at a job that I had there in Texas. And I asked the lady for a recipe, and she's like, oh, I just added this and this to the regular cookies. So anyways, that's what this is that we're going to be doing now. This is my niece's favorite cookie, and usually this is what I do for her for the holidays, is gifting, because you can easily give these cookies as a gift for anybody. Just put them in a little bag, tie a little bow around them, and people love them. So I'm going to get these started. That's the next thing that is on our list. So like I said, you can get these recipes on my blog at any time. I'm just going to head and get this stuff started. So sometimes it's just better just to go ahead and get in here and mix it yourself, because the mixer doesn't always get it well incorporated. The payment though is to go do a jig in front of the camera. Our bread's ready. It's risen for an hour. So now we're going to put it on here, and we're going to knead it up. Just not really knead it. We're just going to kind of get it into a ball, and then we're going to cover it and let it sit for another 30 to 45 minutes. I'm probably just going to let it sit for 30 minutes because it is pretty warm here in the kitchen. And then in the meantime, she's going to continue to get these cookies going for me, and I'm going to start working on these rolls, which I have a video for that, and I'll link in the description box below. So let's get to it. And the goal here is to drop it into the hot Dutch oven. So we'll bake it for 30 minutes with the lid on, and then we'll take the lid off and we'll bake it another 15 to 20 minutes. Oh, look at that. It's gorgeous. Listen to me, that is gorgeous. Look at how pretty that is. You do not want to pass that up. Look at that. And it was so easy to do. You cannot beat that. And there you have it. Our holiday baking is done. Just look at all this deliciousness. Fluffy homemade rolls, a rustic crusty bread loaf, sourdough chocolate chip cookies, festive white chocolate cranberry oatmeal cookies, and of course our keto peanut butter pie. It's been a busy day, but this is what the holidays are all about. Making the house smell amazing, sharing love through food, and spending time together. If you want to make any of these recipes, they're all on my blog at makeandmaking.com. So be sure to check them out, and don't forget to let me know what you're baking for the holiday season in the comments. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share it with someone. Until next time, Merry Christmas and happy baking from the Makin' family.